Hi everyone, this is the second part for the classes. So today I will focus more in properties and constructors. So as we mentioned, we are gonna use the class to create a calculator object with the features or characteristic of a real calculator. So we will have a footprint and we will create a calculator like in the real world you will use. So you have to keep in mind that the idea of object-oriented programming is to create a real object with characteristic features, methods, properties of a real object. So a calculator, we can think about what kind of property we can have. For example, we can have a property type string called model. So what is the model of our calculator? A brand. So we have a brand. What is the brand of our calculator? What else we can think about? Type. We can have type, and we can use. I don't know if you already know about enum variables. We can use a type of calculator. I also have created before. You can see here the one for type of operation. So let's say type of calculator standard scientific. So we have two types, let's say. Let's say type, and then I think this one we can skip for now until we find a use for this. And something I forgot to tell you before is that if you put three of these, you will get this summary and this description of your function, and this is very helpful. I will show you later. Okay, so we have three properties, and our calculator, every time we create an object, it will get these three properties. So how to populate, to give a value to these properties, we use the constructors. So let's call this properties, and let's call this section constructors. Also, this thing region that you can use, and region. So this is very helpful when your code is really long and then you just can close and open. You can put here region constructors, and then you can have this. This is really good. I recommend it. So first constructor, let's say we don't give any input. The second one, we will like to populate the brand. We will like to populate the brands and the type. Okay. So the idea behind this is that the object, when you instantiate, you will get the values that you are already giving in. So here, let's say, let's reduce this at md, just not to confuse this variable with these ones. Brand bd. So now we have the inputs we give it to our real properties from our program. And now we have what is called private and public use. So this one, the properties is really good to use as a private, because when you use the private, you cannot modify it without using the constructors or using the access to the public variables. Then in the class, these belong only to the class. So this is an option that you have in here in remove a randomly. Now there is an option that C# gave to you to create this private. Okay, let's try private. No, it's not giving me. Let's try public. It should give me an option here. So this will help me with the creation of private and not private. So for our programs or our object outside the class, you will use this model as a public variable, but in the class, within the class, the model is a private. So here, to initiate, we create model equal to MD. So the input will be go to the variable model. But to access this value is gonna be doing by this, and this we can see reflected in our main program. For example, we have here result2, and you can see our property name. Now the public one is named with model with capital M. And now we need to give input. So let's say our model is the famous one. Okay, but now let's try to delete this one. And then we go here to our program. And now we get an error because this is not declared in our class. And also we cannot access the model one because it's a private. To access, you need to create, either put this a public, now we can go inside this variable, but it's recommended to use as a private, and create this to access this value. Another thing you can do with this option is that you can set your variable as only readable, read only. So for example, let's say I want to create, this is just a dummy variable equal to 0. And then here we calculate this as a property to create the public one with capital D, and we gonna make it only readable. So to make it only readable, we do this. So this is get. So let's try and show you. So you can see model, you have two options, you can read and write, get and set. But let's try dummy. Result two domain. Let's say one is gonna tell you is an error because it's only read only. So this is useful. You want to keep like a constant or variable that always gonna initiate and always be certain value. Okay, let's go back to this one. Let's delete this one. Let's delete this one. Okay, let's continue here. Brand equal to bd and type gonna be equal to x. And let's do this one. Let's finish these ones with creation of public property access. Okay, so we have now one constructor without any initiation, any input, and one constructor with the three variables we're gonna have, or properties that we have for our object. Okay, so let's do the sample for both. Let's create without anything, and we can take this one and we can print no input in the constructor or no instances. And then we can see this result point brand. So we are calling the property, and we will see that the brand is empty. And then to know that this is just to show how it works on data. Then I will populate the brand. So the brand is put brand. Okay, let's start. This one give me error. So you will see the first constructor that there is no data in it, then we can give the value and then we print it. So we will have two calculators. In this case I'm calling result2, but we can change the name. So no input in the construct instance, print the brand is empty, so I'm printing, then after that no data. Then I set the brand is assigned, and when I print the brand, now we have cashier. Now let's move on to, let's change the name of this calc1. And then yeah, so he give me the option to change it. And then here we see the error because the initiation you needed three variables. And what are those three variables? So in calculator we have the model, brand, and type. So the model is a string. Let's say an X. I don't know. This is just random. Then the brand, and then the type. The type. So you can give the number 0 or 1. So 0 is standard, 1 is scientific. Let's give it 0. And now let's print. And let's give this call to. So here calculator object 2 with input in the constructor and then call to brand to model and type. So now you can see the second object is created with the second constructor, and this constructor you need to include all the three variables that we put. You can create more constructors. You can create only constructor for model, only constructor for type, only constructor for brand, or you can mix them. You can have many of constructors as you want, but usually you should have the known one, depends of what you want to do, and you should have one with the option to initiate with all the inputs. So this is all for this video about constructors as property. So to summarize, you have this region. It is very useful to collapse or not this section properties, a new type of variable. So let me share. So the type of variable is standard. Okay, good. So that's all for today. I hope you like it. Give it a like, share it, put your comment. See you.